Hello, guys. How's it going? Welcome to another episode of the Jason J. Daniels Show. It's a great day for me. It's a great day in California. I'm a California guy. It's a great day in the United States. We've had a lot of stuff going on, right? It's a very diverse and busy country, and we also need very smart, patient individuals that care about the nation that are making those decisions, right? So I'm here talking to somebody who I consider one of those individuals. Christine Bish, how are you today?
I am excellent. Hello to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us on this 3-day weekend, and some of us are making it a 4, so I do appreciate your time.
Well, it's an honor. It's a privilege. We're doing coffee talk. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that. Do you have something to drink? Yeah, it's coffee talk. We're in California. What's really cool is we are located very close to each other. Did not realize that, and this is a great opportunity. So I want to bring Christine on. Christine is a nationwide figure. She has really rocked the. Let's say the body politic with a little bit of Adam Schiff controversy. Okay, and it's not little, actually; it's pretty big. She is the one who exposed the Adam Schiff mortgage fraud situation. She's a California Republican House candidate for District 6, and her
Mhm.
website is Bish for Congress. You should check it out. It's very informative. I've been spending a couple of days going back and forth on it, learning a lot about Christine. If you've ever seen Christine, she is not going to hold back on what she thinks about the country or what she thinks about the state of current affairs. And I'm really glad to have her on.
All right. Well, if you're a first time listener, my name is Christine Bish. I am running for Congress up here in Sacramento's 6th Congressional District. We're fighting with the governor right now, so that could change, but, my campaign won't change. They might change the neighborhood, but they won't change me. So, and luckily, Gavin knows that. He and I have tangled more than once. He even called the National Guard out on me. You
He
can
did.
riot it. Oh, yes, he did. That's a whole nother story. We
Yeah,
can do
we'll get
right.
there. But yeah, sorry. I'm so excited to get. I can't stand him, but go ahead.
Yeah, he doesn't like me, but that's okay. I'm lucky that's not the business that I'm in. Is getting crazy, you know, drug trafficking dictator governors to like me. That's just not my thing.
She has a great X account, very active. Now let's talk about something that is exciting for me. Okay,
Okay.
somebody's in deep shift, and it's not you, and it's not me. It's a guy named Adam Schiff. Everybody knows this guy. This dirty rat, okay, has done everything he can to affect the United States of America in the most heinous ways. If you are watching this, and if you are an American, you live in this country, he has done so much damage to this country. He has done things that have affected you. You don't even know it. This guy's one of the most secretive, backroom dealing motherfuckers who lies about everything. I'm just being
Yep.
honest, okay? You can't trust a word out of this fucker's mouth, and so everybody but no one could do anything about it, right? He did everything he can to try to destroy the president, in which hurts the American people. He did everything he can to create fake whistleblowers. The guy's he's a waste of space. Sorry.
Yep.
As
No,
hard as
don't be sorry. You're telling the
I'm just
truth.
telling the people that watch it. There's people that are watching this that hate on us, but that's fine. So, talk to us about the work you've been doing. You were the one that exposed the mortgage fraud. The reason why it's even a thing in the nationwide media, even the president picked it up, is because of the hard work you did. Now you are a financial investigator. You
Yep.
are an expert in real estate, an expert in all these things. You are a master at these things. So tell me and tell us what you did to uncover this. Now you were on Mike Huckabee. You've been in
Yep.
Newsmax, nationwide media. People Google her. You have told this story in short form and also long form in a number of podcasts I've listened to. But take your time and break it down for those who don't quite understand what he's doing, what he did, and why this is so important and what you did to uncover it.
Okay. So we have to go back a little bit, because we have the time for me to give everybody the real story, how I got here. I didn't roll out of bed one morning and say, "Wow, I think I'm going to go after Adam Schiff." That's not how it happened. Because
Now, not that would have been a great way to do it, though. Let's just say, I like that. Someone could have said, "Can I just fix the country?" We'll start there.
Well, no, yeah, there we go. So actually, what happened was it was 2019, and I'm a realtor. I was waiting to show a house, and the guy didn't show up because that's what I do is meet men that I don't know in empty houses and hope they don't murder me. That's real estate, guys. Um, I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
That's why I always wear tennis shoes. I don't dress up
That's
because
funny.
I don't wear a lot of jewelry because selling real estate, you don't want to make yourself a target. But I digress.
Well,
So,
okay, I didn't think of that. There's all these certain ways to like protect. I mean, that is the day and age we live in. Okay, go ahead.
and, I've been shot at and chased and attacked and, from repossessing cars, helping bounty hunters, running for office, being one of the principals for the recall. Had a guy tried, we actually have a police report in West Sac where the guy tried to assault me for collecting signatures for recall. Tried to run a friend of mine over with a car. So, and I'm not numb to this. It's just, it is what it is. We're dealing with crazy people. They're out there, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But
That's real stuff. I just want people to know. I've worked in local politics for years. That's real shit. People do crazy shit in
they do. We've been doxxed.
local level. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doxxed. They put my house picture of my house and arrow, and they were trying to get Antifa over here. They tagged the street, poisoned two of my dogs. It's just I don't stop. And, for the bad guys out there that want to cause me grief, all you do is motivate me.
Make you
Go
strong.
ahead, come after me.
Yeah, make you stronger.
It pisses me off.
So
And so
I,
let's go
I,
back
love,
to
I love that. That's a whole nother subject, but go ahead with, so you were making sure that there was no murder gear on you.
no murder gear. Yeah,
Okay, clear the murder gear. Okay, good.
no
All right.
reason to want a Chris
Hair
suit.
on point.
Exactly.
Hair on point. Blonding's good. We're cool. Okay.
So, guy didn't show up. I'm sitting in my truck and just playing on my phone. We all do that. You got downtime, you're sitting there surfing the internet. And when I did that, I found a lawsuit. And it was regarding the Sacramento Suburban Water District, Rio Linda Water District, and the old McClellan Air Force Base. And I just stumbled over it looking. So I started looking at it and found out that the water in this part of Sacramento around the Air Force Base is contaminated. And they're suing over the contamination. So I end up, while I'm sitting in front of this vacant house waiting for the murderer to come, whatever, I call the water district. And this is probably mid-March of 2019. And found out that, yeah, our water is contaminated in this area, but I was told not to worry. Don't worry. Don't worry about the water contamination because your neighborhood, your community is serviced by 10 wells. We closed 7 of them because the contamination levels were too high.
So you had 3.
So the 3 remaining wells have acceptable levels of contamination. Now that was the bottom line to it.
So they told you the truth over the phone. This is the
Oh
situation.
yeah. No, well, it wasn't, they just told me the truth. I had to force it out of them. I went through a few people. I'm sure that receptionist quit when I got done with her. But
If you and I were on a joint phone call calling some of these agencies, they would lose their mind. I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, well, can I talk to the person to the person?
yeah,
I don't think we're done with this. I think there's right. Boom.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's your last name and address?
Yeah.
Because when I sue, I'm going to sue you too. Can you afford it?
You can say that.
So anyhow, um, so I wrote to my representative, Doris Matsui, and I called her office and I emailed and, got on social media, all this business. I couldn't even get the courtesy of a form letter. Thank you for reaching out to us. Hopefully your kids won't die. Anything, right?
And
Well,
by the way, we just need to let people know Matsui, she was one of the most lunatic liberal, I guess you'd say, opposers to anything conservative in California history.
Okay, well, that's going to be what you're going to hear in just a minute.
Oh,
How
okay. Sorry, jumped
how
ahead.
her psycho stuff is how I ended up
Hmm.
running for Congress.
Wow.
So we get up to it was my husband's birthday. It was April 9th, and I started feeling really sick. I had horrible stomach pains. We ended up taking me to the hospital. And this is only a few weeks after I find out about the water, right? And I'm arguing it and, just doing the things to protect my family, protect my neighborhood. And so we go to the hospital with me, and they ended up doing an ultrasound and discovered I had kidney cancer. And they were checking my intestines, trying to figure out why I was having this pain. And it was something else. I had an infection in my intestines. It's called diverticulitis. But by accident, they found this walnut-sized tumor on my right kidney. So it went really fast from, April 10th is when I got the diagnosis. I was in the hospital on the 9th. April 10th is when we got the diagnosis. And I had surgery in the end of May. And I was incredibly lucky because it was malignant, but I'm minus a third of my right kidney, but I didn't have to have chemo. I didn't have to have radiation. They went through the front. So I've got 8 scars, but after having all those kids, I got stretch marks anyhow, so I'll never be in a bikini again. It's cool.
Like, hold on. Before we execute the surgery, I have a question.
Yeah.
Wow. My mother went through something very similar. I just want to tell you, 2 years ago, and it happened suddenly, just like that.
Yep.
The same situation. I'm sure a lot of people can identify this. Went in for something else, came out with a cancer diagnosis, and they're like, "Okay, you got to get in like now, stat."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They did the surgery right away. Had to make sure because kidney cancer. This is the number one form of cancer with the water contamination in Antelope, North Highlands, Rio Linda, this whole area, and all around McClellan Air Force Base. So they've settled this lawsuit, so if you get one of those little messages, that if you got cancer and you live in this area, do the form. You're entitled to some compensation for the misery that they've created in your life. But in this one, God has a plan for all of us. I don't know what his plan was, but he got my attention. Got my
Definitely.
attention with it. And like I said, I am incredibly lucky that I didn't have to go through all of the other treatments.
Yeah.
What happened was I was laying in bed recovering from the surgery, and it was a long recovery. When they go after one of your organs, it's a long recovery. But Doris Matsui, it was 2019, May, we're in the beginning of June, and she comes on TV and she's belly aching about Donald Trump, carrying on how she's going to block anything that he does. And now, mind you, I was on some really good painkillers, but I'm laying in my
Oh, you
room.
need a bunch to put up with that garbage coming out of her mouth. God
So
damn. I'm sorry. I get so
it gets me going
enraged when I
too,
think
but
about these lunatics in California, and especially Northern California, over the last 20 years, what they've done to this state. But go ahead.
it's crazy. But I was listening to her and just thinking, I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I don't always like who I have to work with. I don't like who the supervisor is, but I still have to do my job. I can't stand up and say, I'm not going to do this anymore and expect to get paid. And that's what I saw was her saying, I'm not going to do my job. I don't like who you elected as president, whether you like Trump or not. I don't care. But you're saying you're not going to do your job. You're going to block the people. And that didn't sit well with me since I know she wasn't doing her job because I couldn't get her to send me a form letter.
Simple
So,
stuff. And they have staff to do it, and they still don't care.
oh, they don't. So, and there's all kinds of dirty stuff with her staff. We can do that later. But
Oh,
anyhow,
especially we're going to do a lot of episodes.
we're going to have to do
This
another
is going to
episode.
work.
Sacramento dirt.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Yeah, we'll make a whole series.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on. An hour's not enough, but it's good. It's a good start.
Okay,
The
so
taste
we're
test.
gonna fast forward through this.
Oh no, take your time, but I'm just saying, we'll do
Oh,
more.
there is so much. So I decide that you don't want that job. I do. Now I know nothing about running for office. Don't know money, what I have to do, but hey, a lot of stupid people do it. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, there's so many dumb human beings in our Congress right now. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
People would be stunned.
don't even get me started.
You have years of experience. You are a perfect person that we need. All of us need people like you. But what we got is a bunch of intergalactic crime gangsters.
Yes, they are.
It's like a Star Wars cantina.
Well,
It's terrible.
okay, so that's funny. Um, but what's crazy about it is like I went to my local Republican Party, right? Made an appointment with them, and this was, I think it was my anniversary, August 15th of 2019. And I'm driving now.
Happy anniversary. I'm running for Congress.
Thank you. That's pretty much it. And I told him, I'd love to have your support. And the chair there, she told me, well, it's not your turn. I said, okay, whose turn is it? Do you have a retired judge, maybe an assemblyman, some billionaire with a tech company that's going to do it? No, it's just not your turn. So I figure, maybe her husband cheated on her and I look like that girl, or maybe I look like her mother-in-law when she was younger. I don't know what her problem with me is. And it's continued all these years, but that's her bad, not mine.
You are
And
the
she's gone
greatest.
anyhow.
You
So
and I have the same brain, just as separated at birth. That's how I think of these. Who are these people, right? They'll just
yeah, just you don't have to
do
like them. You
whatever
just
they. Yeah,
we're trying to take out a Democrat. What is wrong with you? You
right.
know, what is wrong with you? It's whatever. We're going to keep moving on.
Yes.
So I win the primary after, and they even recruited other people to run against me because it had to be anybody but Chris. That should be the campaign slogan. Anybody but me.
Literally, that would be amazing.
Literally, that
That'd
was
be
that was
amazing.
the campaign. Anybody but me. And so I win the primary, and we did the campaign, or the vote count watch, election night watch, at this little bar called the Limelight off of Alhambra.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just a little divey bar, and if when you get to know me, I do divey. Whether
I
it's restaurants, whether it's bars, it's just
okay.
who I am.
Well, I told you I used to own a salon in Midtown, right, in
Yeah.
Sacramento. We used to have so many wild nights.
The Limelight.
When
Okay.
you said that, like if you live in Sacramento, you know the Limelight. Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I was going to say, if you're the owner of the Limelight, we're really giving you a lot of free media. So you can donate at bishforcongress.com. That's BISH for Congress.com.
I will cut this portion and I will tag the Limelight. That's great.
There we go. Put up their ad. So anyhow, everybody's celebrating. I had my friend Orrin Heatley. He's the guy who was running the recall for Gavin, got me in on that. And so I was one of the original ones for that. Tony Lopez was there.
Fox, right?
Yep.
The Tiger.
Boxer.
All right.
Great
Sacramento
guy.
Pride.
We were having a great party, and I got good pictures.
They're my people.
When they called the race, and Christine Bish moves on to the November election, and they have us head to head, pictures. It looks like, MMA or something. And, me and this little Asian lady, but we're both grandmas, so it worked. Anyhow,
A fair fight.
There we go. It's a fair fight. So, I'm sitting at the table and I'm going, oh crap, I won. What do I do now?
Wow. Okay, tell us about that. Tell us about that feeling. Now, there so many people will never feel that feeling.
That feeling is, be careful what you wish
that
for.
barrier, right? Like, because first it's like a conversation, it's a vision. Okay, we're doing it. To win the primary though in a Democrat-controlled area,
and had 2 Republicans and 3 Democrats running against me, and I came in the top 2 with no money,
Yeah,
waiting for my follow up on my cancer surgery.
you get votes. You get votes.
I
You
got
you're
votes.
you're extremely competitive because I looked at the election results of your when you have run. So yeah, so I might have interrupted you. Sorry. So what is that? You're sitting there and they announce it. When they announce it on the channel 3, channel 10,
Yeah,
then you know it's real because they will not announce a conservative winning unless their arm is twisted. And
unless they have to. Yeah.
yeah, right. So what was that feeling sitting there at the limelight with everyone supporting you? How did that feel?
Okay. So it was different then than it was when I was running against Tommy Barra, right? The two different races, right?
Hmm.
So the first one was I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't have a campaign manager. And I was waiting for my follow up, my 6 month follow up, which wasn't going to be until December, to see if I was cancer free. So I wasn't fundraising because I didn't know if they said the cancer came back, if I could even finish. Right. So it was funny. That's what that initial feeling was, is, oh my gosh, what did I do? It's
Again,
okay. But
so much going
something
on.
amazing.
Are you the? And I know we were starting with Adam Schiff, but we just got into you. And you know what? I love this. This is totally great. Um,
But
so,
that's how we got to Adam Schiff.
well, yeah, I love this. Really quick, are you somebody that just has a lot of massive things going on at one time?
Yes.
Yeah, I am the same way, and a lot of people do not understand me. They think I'm nuts, but I just can't stop doing things that I'm driven to do. Is that how you
And
are?
that's the driven. It's you
It's
can't
fearless.
explain
It
it.
just
It's
seems fearless to me that you're going through all these things. Like you're battling your health, which is the most scariest thing, right? Like that is it, right? There's nothing scarier. I mean, than other that maybe someone else in your family going through something, but you're battling that. You're dealing with your own party not supporting you,
yeah.
because you're
Still
not
don't.
part of the machine.
Still don't.
Yeah, yeah, you just have grassroots support. The energy you have to expend to campaign at all, much less be competitive, is incredible. You've got the media writing derogatory things about you, which is what they do in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento Bee is one of the worst newspapers ever
You're
invented.
so
In fact,
mad at
they
me.
slandered you in the Bee, and I was like, I love her. Anybody that gets slandered in the Bee is a friend of mine. Okay, they
That's
are the
another story.
worst.
That is so funny. I can't wait to
Gavin
tell you.
Newsom could shoot somebody in the leg on K Street, and they would say Gavin Newsom was attacked by a gunman on K Street.
Yep.
They
Yep.
would they have made up so many headlines that are fake to protect Newsom. I can't like it's the definition of fake news. You Google it, it has the picture of Sacramento B guy. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
That's for Sacramento people. Okay,
Okay.
so
So we got to go back to Adam Schiff.
yeah, we got Shift. We got like what 20 minutes. You go.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Adam Schiff
This has
and
been
move a
great.
little
Okay, so you
faster.
you win that primary and you're in limelight. You got through it. Next step.
What do I do now? And I said it out loud. What do I do now? And my husband looks at me like, are you crazy? You didn't have a plan?
We don't know.
So what was funny is, then I said, where does Doris live? She doesn't live in Sacramento. And everybody knows she doesn't live in Sacramento. So
Hey yo.
so then that's when I said, okay, that's the first thing I got to do. Opposition research. I sure I saw it on the internet or something. And so started putting all of my background together and started digging into Doris Matsui. And this is what happened. So as I'm proving that Doris Matsui also committed mortgage fraud, I keep running into Adam Schiff because they're running parallel.
Right.
Doris got a head start in 1979 with her first act of mortgage fraud. And her and Bob. And Bob was, from all accounts, he was a good guy. He really cared about people. And I think he just had an over the top wife that pushed him to do things he shouldn't have been doing.
So to help the audience, so Bob is her husband who ran before her, right? Had the seat before
Right.
her. Bob Matsui. He passed away, right? And then she was christened to run in his spot, right? So
Correct. Bob ran for Congress in 1978 and he was elected. And so he's sworn in 1979. And I have yet to hear anybody, Republican or Democrat, say anything negative about Bob Matsui.
Yeah, he was a moderate and did a lot of really good things for Sacramento County. But back then, Sacramento was not taken over by the radical anarchists.
Well,
At least
Doris
kind
pushed
of.
him into doing some things that he shouldn't have done, which was sell the house in Sacramento, buy a house in Maryland, and then use his dad's address to register to vote.
Oh,
Then
that's illegal.
and then the house in Maryland goes into foreclosure twice.
Wow.
And so I had to pull all that stuff out of the archives in Maryland and run all this stuff down on Doris. And I don't make secrets about this, but what was funny is as I'm doing my investigation into Doris, I keep running over Adam Schiff. And so I'm keeping records of Adam Schiff. That wasn't my focus. I'm running in 2020. And it wasn't my focus, but I kept it going as I found information and just started collecting my file, my dossier on Adam Schiff. And then what he did to Trump. And I knew I was going to run for Congress again. So I had to make a decision. And the decision is, do I go after Doris Matsui? Now we're going through redistricting, so I no longer live in the same district as Doris because they move things around. So now Amy Bear is my representative. And do I keep going after Doris, or who's the national boogeyman? Who's the guy who has wreaked havoc across this country? And that's Adam Schiff. And that's when I dove in with, just full in on Adam Schiff, and it became my hobby. And
I could not imagine looking at his picture every day. I feel bad for you.
well, I pulled his mortgage documents, property taxes in California and in Maryland, information about his kids going to school, anything I could find that was public record, because I needed to know everything about him. I even have Doris's high school graduation picture from her yearbook.
You're good.
Yeah, I tell my husband all the time that he is so lucky that we are happily married, because I'd be the best ex-wife ever. Right?
I have a really good one. So,
You'd never date again.
you can do some serious Oppo research. She was good at that.
There you go, scorned woman. So I went in all in on Adam Schiff. Now, I submitted the file. It was 165 pages. In I believe it was April of 2023. Sent it to the House Ethics Committee. Figure, okay, I dug through a lot of their stuff, and that's a whole nother episode of me going through. Sent it to them, hoping something would happen, and it didn't. I got a little bit of news. Gateway Pundit covered it. A few people covered it, and I was thinking, wow, I'm finally getting traction. And then nothing. He gets reelected. Then again in 2024, I decided this has got to go. So it was actually October 16th, 2024. But I had some help. Now I had Seamus Bruner. He works with Peter Schweitzer, John Solomon's team. OAN is where they primarily work with, and they wanted me to tune up the complaint. So this was about 3 months before, and so they were asking me questions. They had my complaint, they had my evidence. Well, what about this and what about that? Making sure it was airtight. So my evidence went from 165 pages to well over 300 pages, because they were pushing me to make sure that if they ran with this story, that it would be airtight. Chris, you need to investigate this, investigate that. And so we got it out October 16th, put another complaint in with the House Ethics Committee. I even drove to Reading, and Steve Garvey was having an event there, and I brought a manila envelope with me. I went all the way up there. A friend of mine, we drove. I handed Steve Garvey the file. And I said, this will get that you can beat Adam Schiff. And he was gracious, very nice. And then I see his campaign manager at this event, and I said, hey, I gave Mr. Garvey the file. I want to see him win, and I'll help you any way I can.
I voted for him.
Well, Matt said, this is his campaign guy that was there. He said, look, Chris, we all know what you've been doing with Adam Schiff. And the truth is, it just doesn't poll well.
It polled well for me.
Well, polled well for Adam Schiff, I guess. I don't know, because you didn't run with it. And I did try. And I've had some people on social media say, why didn't you help Steve Garvey? He could have won. Well, Mr. Garvey was gracious enough to take the information from me, but his campaign didn't care.
Yeah, not to go on a tangent there, but I felt the same way, that he had an opportunity because he was running against a supervillain.
Yeah.
The most villainized person that we all
I call him
know.
the boogeyman.
Yeah, he's totally a douchebag. Nobody likes this guy. It's real easy, but the problem is nobody wants to talk like me and you and say, this is a bad person. We need to stop this. Steve Garvey, I'm pointing at myself, but I'm just hypothetically, I'd be in this Steve Garvey talking. Very famous baseball player, huge, famous Californian, a guy with unlimited resources. He just didn't want to win. That was my opinion.
Well, it wasn't him. It was his campaign.
Oh yeah, his machine, right?
It was his machine, which was the state California Republican Party was his machine.
So I'd love to talk about that more, but we're
short. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I love this because the whole Steve Garvey Adam Schiff thing blew me away. How that unfolded. So they blow you off essentially, and then but you've ramped this up. Now I thought the original complaint was done like last year, but it was done in 23.
It was done in 23.
The complaint 2.0 was revised, double the size. They
still ignored it.
Okay, they ignored it. So where do you go from there?
House Ethics Committee completely ignored it. I got a receipt that I submitted it. Never heard another word. I went and I drove up to Washington State, went to an event, met with Matt Gaetz, told him about it, trying to get stuff. And he goes, I saw that in the Gateway Pundit. He says, that's real? Yeah, it's real.
Oh, man. That's what I said every time I read something about Matt Gaetz.
And he was very gracious. Everybody I've met,
I see it. I like Matt Gaetz.
I love him.
He's
and he's kind of a badass. And here's this little grandma with blonde hair, up there trying to pitch Adam Schiff.
By the way, you do not look like a typical grandma. Can I just say that? I know that you've said it a few times. You're very hip. Not that grandmas aren't hip, but okay.
You
had an epic conversation with Matt Gaetz.
They are my reason for living. But anyhow, so I had this great conversation, got pictures with Matt Gaetz, whatever. So Schiff wins. I'm just going, this guy's the boogeyman. I made myself crazy trying to get this out there.
I was so depressed when he won again. I was so depressed.
I wasn't depressed. I was pissed.
Sure. But I thought there's no way this fucker can win. I did.
There's no way. Yeah. And
Garvey, I thought Garvey was a juggernaut. Maybe we just assumed and didn't try hard enough as a people. I should have donated.
It's up to the candidate. We have to be the leader in this. So, now we're in April and it's really bothering me. I have all this evidence and nobody wants to pay attention. So what happened was Latita James, Sam Antar was running the same investigation in New York against her that I was running in Sacramento against Adam Schiff. Neither one of us knew who each other was. Never met, never talked, never heard of the dude. But so he was doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. And so he had gotten the referral for her, right? So I'm like, I started doing research. How did he get that referral? And I looked and I saw that he'd put it into FHFA, which is the federal agency. Director Pulte, Jim Pulte runs it. And that's where the referral comes. So I said, okay, fine. I'll do that this way. So it was April 30th. I took my whole file, sent it to The FBI did their online reporting because talking to people, I had even been to the FBI office, and that's a fun story too. So just crazy stuff. So I put it in online with the FBI, and then I put it in with FHFA. April 30th. That's an important day. So I don't hear anything back, and I'm just kind of letting it go to the side. I'm running in 26. I'm just going to focus on the campaign, getting everything going right, and uh, doing maintenance. Kind of let things go while I was in the last campaign. But anyhow, I it was July 15th, and my phone is blowing up. I wake up and I've got like 40 messages. What in the hell is going on? And so I'm trying to read through these messages. It's, Adam Schiff, the president tweeted you. What? And so I'm getting all these screenshots, and that's where President Trump had gone on Truth Social, and he had wrote that Adam Schiff was a crook. And I'm reading through it. It looks like he cut and paste stuff that was in my cover letter to FHFA. And then the document that he put in there, I know it's mine. I'm looking at the highlights because I did it with Adobe and put the yellow highlights on it because I was doing multiple highlights while
That's yours.
I've got 300 pages. I can't, do that. So I was doing it with my Adobe because I had scanned all the documents.
Yeah, because it looks a little.
Exactly. So I know.
Well, the thing that you're like, no one will care.
No one will care.
Exactly what the president.
And who's going to see it? Nobody cares. So I had highlighted the stuff and drew circles because that's not what a professional document looks like. But I'm kind of, all right, what the hell? I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
Who would have thought it? It would have been neater if I knew the president was going to have it sitting on his desk, So.
See, you didn't wake up one morning saying, I'm going to go after Adam Schiff, but he did.
Exactly.
He said, what do we got here? Oh, yeah.
So, but what was crazy is it took a day or two for all of us, for us little people, to see the referral. I think it was Laura Ingraham was the first one to get her hands on the referral from Fannie Mae, which is under FHFA, right? Fannie Mae, for it to get referred to DOJ. So I looked at it. It was referred from Fannie Mae to DOJ on May 27th. My evidence was so good, bad highlighting, sorry guys, but my evidence was so thorough, so accurate that this is the federal government was able to look at the documents and how I explained them in my cover letter to, in less than 30 days, get a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. Think about that. You can't do anything in less than 30 days. File your tax returns and see if you get your refund in less than 30 days.
Right?
It was 27 days, including weekends.
It's just unbelievable. Well, one, you're very persistent. Two, You did a really good job on your documentation. It was a professional level. Three, you are a very lucky person because hard work creates luck.
Yep.
And four, you don't stop.
I don't. I'm a juggernaut. Everybody in the world who doesn't like me should be grateful I'm going after Adam Schiff. I'm just trying.
No, you're another level, honestly. It's so crazy because I talked to you and I was like, I had such a you're the kind of person that when you, just for people watching, when you have I think it was 5-minute call, maybe 3, I really got a sense of who you were in that call, your personality, where you were going, how focused you are. I talked to a lot of local politicians, and unfortunately, I'll call you a politician in that sense. Just
I'm an aspiring politician, but
I talked to a lot of people, right? And it's rare that you find someone that just goes, how do I do this? I'm gonna let's rock, and you just start putting the pieces together from scratch. Normally, people are recruited, and that's why they're a cookie cutter. They're docile. They can be told what to do. That's not you. No one tells you what to do.
Nope.
Because
that's my husband.
Yeah, right. Yeah, God bless them. But I want people to understand is that most of the Democrat Party want people like Christine to never get close to a phone, social media, a camera, a newspaper reporter,
Oh yeah.
because they know what's right from wrong. It's real easy. But we have been completely brainwashed in this country that wrong is right and right, if you don't have evidence, no one's going to listen to you. But if you're somebody that has determination and also you're a professional, you're a very skilled person, let's be honest,
Yeah.
you have the ability, and this is in your wheelhouse. It's
Yeah.
crazy, right? Like being a hairdresser, if somebody who's trying to do fake, mess their highlights up or do their own like bangs, you can get that past me. I know that,
Oh,
right?
all right. We'll talk later.
Yeah, I can look. The truth is, I can look at. I did it for 10 years. I can look at that, hair. Like I can see through the lines, right? I can see how we got to a place. That's how you are as a financial investigator, on top of being an expert in real estate, which is like Adam Schiff's total nightmare. So now that you got this, so
I want a T-shirt.
yeah, okay, let's do it.
My
Please
face,
wear
Adam
it.
Schiff's total nightmare.
You created. I will wear it. And so, look, you're amazing. We're running up at the end. We got a few minutes.
Okay.
So okay. So wear it. So that's amazing. The whole like who to wake up and know that Donald Trump tweeted something you did overnight, that changes people's lives, right?
Honestly,
That's a whole nother.
I wasn't sobbing, but I had tears running down my eyes.
It's a whole
I
nother.
had,
You've experienced so many things that one of those things would be a big deal for a person, but you just like, okay, next milestone, right? You just, because your goal is way beyond just recognition. That's not what you're doing this for.
that's not what I'm doing.
Right? Your goal is to actually affect change. And that's how people know you're real. Because if you have one of these things happen that gives you a little bit of success, people like to park there, live there, make it a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just know that's the stepping stone to this is just the journey, not my destination. So that being said, after that happened, I know it's heating up right now. Did you see the LA Times story today?
No.
They talked about, it said, why are all of these people in Democrats being investigated for mortgage fraud? It's a whole thing about more than I didn't
Because they
read the whole
wanted to
thing.
cheat.
Yeah, I don't know if you're in it as far as like you should be. I just didn't get a chance to read, but I saw
You
the
know
headline.
what? A lot of people don't cover me. So in the 2023, when they first did the article about me in Gateway Pundit, they were trying to protect me and put me down as a citizen.
Sure.
And then CNN actually covered the story. And the CNN headline was, "Documents have surfaced that Adam Schiff may have committed mortgage fraud." And I'm yelling, my husband's going, "What's going on?" And they said, "Documents have surfaced. Do they think that Tooth Fairy dropped that shit off? I've been working on this for years."
Now, so is that aggravating, or is it kind of like how do you manage that? Like, because you want to you want to be recognized for the hard work you're doing. Is that kind of
Honestly,
aggravating?
it's aggravating that we have people who wouldn't listen to me, media who wouldn't listen to me, because I went after Fox, I went after CNN, I went after everybody. They didn't want to hear it. I'm just another one of those, right-wing kooks. Now they're running the story and not saying, where did the story come from?
Right.
So at this point where I'm at, I am running for Congress, and I would have done this no matter what, but I am picking up national attention. So I need donations. If you want me to keep doing this, because remember, I said in the beginning, this was a hobby. I was going after Doris. And then I switched gears, and I'm going after Adam Schiff because he's the boogeyman. And now I'm going to tell you, on that first day that I submitted that first complaint in 2023, I had it all prepared. I had the email cover letter and all that. And I was at my real estate office. I actually left my desktop open, and I went home and slept on it because I was terrified.
Sure.
This guy, this boogeyman that I'm after, Adam Schiff, he took down the president of the United States. He created the Russia hoax, all these things that I knew that weren't true, all of the havoc that he has wreaked across this country. And I'm picking a fight with him.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that question. I was going to ask that. You're at the right place where I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, how,
How do
like,
I do this?
terrifying to, like, because people have to understand this. The stakes are real high because these people, they will fucking destroy you.
And that's the truth.
They will.
But
I'll
I
just hand
went back the next morning. I said a couple of colorful metaphors to myself and hit send. Um, and we've had some bad things happen. Um, we lost, and this wasn't Adam Schiff, but it was part of his policies. It was part of Ami Bera's policy. Is I lost my oldest daughter to fentanyl, and now his I'm raising my grandson, and his dad died because of drugs shortly after he was born. He's 8 years old, and my husband and I are in the process of adopting him. But I have Kara's picture. I'm looking over there right now. I'm in the dining room. Kara's the last thing I see whenever I leave the house, and the first thing I see when I come home. So um but it was politicians.
can't
It
imagine.
was
I can't
Joe
imagine.
Biden who wouldn't acknowledge his own son's addiction. Drugs in the White House, all this human trafficking, kids coming over. Well, the kids were important because the kids were the distraction for Homeland Security, for ICE, while they were running the drugs in. Well, they were running the drugs that killed my daughter, that killed so many people's daughters, aunts, uncles, parents, niece, the kid down the street. Everybody in this country
Yeah,
knows someone.
yeah, it's that easy.
And so it shifted from Adam Schiff to of course, my Kara.
Yeah,
And we see, like this guy that's running against me. I asked him, I said, how could you do that, with this trans stuff in the schools? He said, look, we didn't have the votes. It was just me. Might as well just do it and get it over with. And, and like I said, he's a nice enough guy, but it was a really weak thing to do. It doesn't matter if you predetermine that they can outvote you. You put up a fight. And we see this with people who join the military. I never had that privilege. I had babies before I could make that decision. But I will die on my feet rather than live on my knees. And when you make that sacrifice, he sacrificed other people's children because he wasn't willing to stand up and fight for them. And this is where weak Republicans come in.
yeah.
This is where I don't get along with establishment folks. It's not the popular thing to say when you're running for office, but the truth is, if we're not willing to call out weak, when weak is what it is, and you're not willing to call out evil, and you're not willing to stand up to people like Adam Schiff and Craig DeLuz and Governor Newsom. And Newsom, I've sued him a couple times.
I know Craig.
I am. In fact, he
Love his
called
name.
out the National Guard on me. He won't call it out for criminals, but I'm a 5'3" overweight, cancer surviving grandma, and he sends the National Guard out off of me. So
You,
I'm winding
you,
myself up now.
well, you are very dangerous, though. I got to tell you, they see you as very dangerous. Going back to your daughter, we'll just, we'll celebrate her memory with you by
Thank
just
you.
saying that, God bless you and the work you're doing and raising that little tyke. I have a little one in my life, and the fact that at your age, my age, it does something. It's something, right? It's like it changes you to have a little one. I have three children and I have grown children as well, and I have it is the miracle that gets you through.
Yeah.
He is your miracle. But not to get into your personal life, but God bless you for that. And
Thank
but yeah, you have you. There's no one better than you for the sixth district, honestly, because you have experienced so many things. You have been affected by all of these things that the radicals that have taken over before the Congress was flipped over. What the radicals did to just allow the borders to be open and the drug crisis and look, We haven't talked about Omni is Ami Berra.
Tommy Berra.
I know
Oh
I
yeah.
met his wife a few times in business. And,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
right. So she was, just
Say, why did Ami let his dad go to prison for those illegal campaign contributions? That was a dirtbag thing to
that
do.
it's interesting, right? He's very interesting. Now, I'll say his wife was very kind, and obviously it wasn't on a political level, but I know them very well, and you definitely he's in lockstep with whatever the Biden crime family wants, because that's what it is.
Yep.
It's Trump doing his thing versus the Biden regime.
Ami Berra is, he loves to tell everybody he's a medical doctor and wear his old
Okay,
lab coat and all that. It was the Obama administration,
okay, right.
and Ami Berra was the official spokesman for Joe Biden, and it was Ami Berra's job to make sure everybody knew that he was a geriatric blankety blank.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay, interesting. Didn't realize that. Okay.
yeah, he was the official surrogate, and we've got
Okay,
video.
he was an Obama guy. I forgot because he's been there for a while.
Exactly. And who knows what Barrow was promised? If Biden gets reelected, we're going to need somebody, to,
Yeah.
handle the geriatric ward at the White House.
Well, all he's doing is rubber stamping all of the most radical lunatic shit.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and so, yeah, look, the sooner you can win, the better for everybody.
Well,
Uh,
I need everybody out there to help me. So if you, live in the district, and that could change, we'll see where it is. But right now we're going to focus on what we have. If it changes, we'll pivot. So
yeah.
if you live in the current district, plan to vote for me in the primary. I've got two Republican yahoos. I call them the boys. I ran against them last time when I wasn't getting national attention. And, they still want to run against me. So, just pat them on the head and tell them to go do something else. Go back and mess with those kids at the Robles School District.
well,
Um,
well,
yeah,
no, we want them to just go away. Leave the kids.
just go run for something else.
Yeah, dog catcher.
But
Catcher.
those poor dogs. It's bad enough they're messing with the kids. But
Look, we're being tight, but it's right because we're just tired of this lunatic agenda. We're tired of it.
it's insane.
It
And
is
I'm
like we
yeah,
let them for 4 years just experiment on us, like in so many different ways. So people need to forgive me when I have zero tolerance for it. I'm done.
yeah, we're
I'm
done.
Anybody with a D on their name, I love you. God bless you. But if you got to prove to me that you're not drinking this
Crazy.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The Kool-Aid, like yesterday, I have to let you go, but this now we're talking about gun control. We're not talking about the little babies that were murdered by a maniac. The Democrats want to just make it about them. It's the most despicable, like these nationwide Democrats do the most despicable stuff when it comes to children. It blows me away. Anyway, okay.
Well,
So,
they do it to their own kids,
yeah, that's true.
Um,
I guess,
they don't care. They
they
just
don't,
they just don't care. It's about them and what they want, what they need, whatever's going on. But I want to go back to the district real quick.
okay,
I'm
yeah.
a real estate
Go for it.
agent. I
Go.
sell houses in the whole Sacramento Valley. I go all the way to Yolo County, El Dorado, Placer. Got property in El Dorado County and Placer County, rental houses there. But as a real estate agent, other than law enforcement or someone who's been with the fire department, we're boots on the ground. And the reason I say that is whether you're renting a house or buying it, I can tell you every neighborhood, where the schools are, where the shopping is, where's public transportation. How easy is it for you to get to work, wherever it is that you work? So when you start talking about being in real estate, you have to know every community at an intimate level. Where do people work? Where do they live? Where do they play? Where do they go to school? What's the income level for this neighborhood? What is the ratio of rentals to people who own the houses? Are there lots of veterans here in this neighborhood? Lots of seniors in this neighborhood? And you start getting into the nitty gritty of each community. How many people in Washington, D.C. can tell you about Allison Elementary over in Foothill Farms? Or know why the colors are that the colors are on the doors? Or how good the wrestling team is over at Foothill High School? and Del Oro and has one of the and Folsom has one of the best football teams, and I love high school football. But nobody can touch the Lancers for a marching band except for maybe Oakmont High School, and it's those very intimate things about our community that I love and that I want to take back. Our parks, everything from Gibson Ranch to Discovery Park. It's what can I do in Washington to make Sacramento better, to make California better, or make our country better, so that we don't feel like we're getting run out of our homes, our neighborhoods, away from our families, where you don't feel like you have to start over in your 50s and 60s, or you've got to move your children to another state because you're afraid that, some wacko teachers, or even, the late lunch lady is, going to tell them that they weren't perfect when they were born, that you're flawed, you're broken. We need to put you on drugs and have surgery, and don't tell your parents because they're the bad guys. Where we have state sanctioned lying to parents, which is a violation of the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
We live in one of the greatest areas. We're 90 miles from the ocean. We're 90 miles from skiing. The history of California is here, from Sutter's Fort to Effie Yawn Nature Center. I was a scout leader for years. We have so much that's wonderful here.
Yeah.
And I just want it to be better.
It's
With all of the Adam Schiff and the National and the drama and all this, I love our community and I want it to be better.
I love that. And people need someone that cares about what is actually going on
Here,
versus wanting to be in Washington and just wanting to be a part of that whole, celebrity thing, the political celebrity thing, the whole
it's
just
part of
battle.
the interview.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's part of it, but you always want to go back to your roots, and the roots, and
I do.
you have been in this area for time immemorial, just like me. So when I hear you talk about these things, it is music to my ears because I know the area so well, and that's what people need to hear in that District 6. I know 6. I know that district really well. So that's why it's a real joy to speak to you. So Christine, we have to wrap. It's hard for me because I could talk to you all day.
We could do this all day.
We'll do it again.
Okay, so we'll do a campaign event and we'll invite everybody to come out, and I can just jab as long as you want to sit there and listen.
I'm in. We'll do a live podcast from it, or
Oh, that sounds like fun.
yeah, I can bring a setup. That would be amazing. We could do a
That
little
would be
thing.
fun.
I'm there for you because I want to support what you're doing, and I appreciate your time. So we'll let everybody know again. You are definitely running, and you are so good. There's a lot of information about you online, so they need to check it out. We're going to follow the saga with Adam Schiff. Please go to her website, donate. I don't often say that, but $10, $15, everything counts. If you want her to win, don't just dream about it. Give out of your wallet because that's the ultimate sacrifice, your time and money, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget the saga. She uncovered what's going on with Adam Schiff. So support her on X as well. Follow her on X, retweet her stuff, repost her stuff. That is really important to get the word out. A lot of this is about just getting the truth out. And also follow her on X, Bish at Congress. Christine, I'll give you the last word, but thank you.
All right. Well, all I could say is it's time to send a Bish to Congress, and I'm just the Bish to get things done. Donate, volunteer. I need your help. I need help from my friends, my neighbors, the community I care about. If you can donate $2, $200, the max donation is $7,000, and there's some people out there who can do that and really help me get this campaign going. So you can do that at bishforcongress.com. It's BISH for Congress.com.
It makes a difference. God bless you, Christine. You're a great American. I will stay in touch and we'll do this again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.